minutes.
We had one comment on it,
Any
which was
comments
already
on those,
rectified, so
gentlemen?
I make a motion to approve.
I will second.
Okay.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
John,
Yes. Mr. Kitco.
Okay, you should all have a copy of activities for the month of January. We had 5 applications, or actually 4 applications and then one bunch of copies we had to make in charge for. Spent quite a bit of time. We did, as you're aware, the Board of Appeals heard 6 cases. So spent quite a bit of time making sure that everything was prepared right for that and working with everybody to get it in. So that's all I have.
I see you have, your recommended
Yes, all of that.
fees for
Right,
2020.
yeah.
I looked over them, I don't know about you gentlemen, I think they're all very reasonable. I actually,
I did. I see there's quite a bit of adding, getting expenses covered.
Right, that's what we're trying to do. In some cases, I think, in the industrial and commercial, after the minimum square footage, the fee was like $5.50, we went back to $5. The reason logic for that is, it makes it easier when you tell somebody, okay, it's per 100 square feet, $5 for, you're not dealing with small change or anything, so. But we tried to keep them pretty much the same, and we did look at what Bainbridge, Newberry, several other townships are charging, and we're right in the ballpark with them and everything.
They also include that on the miscellaneous fees there, plus expenses including mileage, legal ads, court reporter, consultants, and any other expenses, that kind of language.
Yeah.
Which is unusual.
Why, that should be really yes.
Mike, any comments?
No, everything seems put in line. We need just a blanket motion to cover all the
I
changes.
think we can do one motion and cover it for this, to the addendum, or to the
Okay, I'll make a motion then to adopt the zoning fees as revised and presented tonight.
I'll second.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
John.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Everett, there's one other thing I should bring up, and I think Fred's aware of this. We have phone issues in the back. There's at least one phone that does not work at all. And from what I understand, that phone cannot be replaced, right, Fred? You can't find one
Yeah, that's my understanding, that's a model that's no longer supported.
no longer available, so we might wanna look at doing something there to upgrade, but when you pick that phone up, you can't hear anybody or anything, so.
Was that part of the phone system?
Well, that's kind of,
That was an
we wanted it,
individual phone.
we didn't want people to be able to talk to us.
Okay. Well, we got that accomplished.
Okay. Yeah, that's one individual phone that's back there. Some of the other phones have some issues too, a couple of them.
Right.
Who does the service on it?
We had a one-man IT phone person that was servicing them. I don't know if he's been utilized lately.
We'd like to have it looked into, see if we can,
Maybe we should look at getting a little small system.
I don't know, I just know that it's, pretty old, and sometimes, like I say, sometimes you pick it up and there's nobody there, and then they call back, and,
Yeah, I did this.
we did finally isolate, in the back, we did isolate it to the one phone, was really, I mean, it just, Nancy tried to answer it today when I said, that phone doesn't work. It rings, but it doesn't, you can't hear him.
Well, that cuts down on the. Okay, well, let's look at getting a phone system, I guess.
Yeah, how old is
I
that?
mean, you can get them pretty inexpensive.
Yeah, and they're a lot more affordable than they used to be.
And we just have to just get to both lines, and if that's all. You guys have 2 lines or 1 line?
One dedicated line, but we can answer all lines back there.
Yeah. Okay, so we need 2 lines.
Check around and see, let's see who did our phone system at work. That'd be one lead. We contact, anybody else? Who did our phone systems at the fire department, chief?
Citadel did, but he's got cancer right now, and he's not doing so well, so I don't think he'd be able to help us out.
Okay. I'll see if I can get some names of people to, and Nancy contact and see if we can get a bid. Get a few bids in the system.
The system, the way the network is, seems to be okay, it's just the individual units are starting to go on us.
I know, but we're gonna, I think you have to get an updated,
They tend to make the phones in the system all
yeah,
one,
you have to get a
one unit, so
new
that
system.
just specifically keep people from being able to change things over midstream on.
So you can't just go buy a new phone and plug it in?
No, I don't want that.
No.
That'd be way too easy.
All right, well, let's look at getting some new phone systems.
You can also have Nancy maybe contact some of the adjacent townships, see what kind of systems they're using, get some recommendations.
Okay. I'm ready.
Auburn Township Road Department report for January 2020. January saw 12 weather events that required 20 rounds of plowing and/or salting. The total usage of de-icing materials was 481 tons, which brings the month's average to 633. It was at 644. We're currently running about 80 tons less than average for the first half of the season, which is typically, you can see what's going on out there. There's about 826 tons of road salt in our dome right now. Looking at the averages of February and March, from this point on, it's usually 600 to 687 to 700 tons that we use. I think the 826 should get us there unless something unusual happens. I'm not in a rush right now to put a salt order in at this time, possibly closer to the end of February. I think will necessitate that. There was one high wind event that did bring down several trees on January 12th. We took care of those. Patching of potholes was performed on 2 different occasions. We used approximately a ton of the material. 8 tons is what we get for the season, and that's been lasting us not just through the winter, but well into the summer as well. We did have 2 speed limit signs taken out by cars that ran off the roadway during inclement weather. I got those to replace, so we did get the post last week. County Engineer's Office has been monitoring and enforcing the cleaning of mud and debris that's left on Shaw Road due to the oil wells that are being installed. There was some logging being done on an adjacent neighbor's property that does not fall under highway use, and that's something that the township does monitor, and we've been keeping an eye on that job. I've only had 1 complaint for that so far. We did have, I had dialogue with the County Engineer's Office concerning our capital improvement projects. Everything is moving forward. I did have a couple different discussions today. One of the things that they were looking for us to do is to complete our preparations by the end of May. Looking at the workload that we have, and the amount of ditching as well and drainage improvements, I told them I don't think the end of May is doable for 100% of our projects. They said because of the lot of OPWC work that they have, that if we don't complete everything by May, we'll be pushed to somewhat time later in the year. I don't have a problem with it as long as our project's get completed within the construction year. One of the things they brought up is the school buses and stuff like that we've worked around them in the past. One of the things that has happened is the contractors have moved in, did a portion of our projects, and moved on, and then came back and completed them. So what we'll do is we'll look at what we can complete in the fastest amount of time, complete subdivisions or roads, and then hand that off to them, and by the end of May, get those done. To get back to them tomorrow, one of the things that we are discussing are the repairs, the surfaces, the subdivisions. I'm pretty confident we'll get ourselves. Because of deflection in Bartholomew Road, they're talking about a leveling course, which is about 200 cubic yards. I talked today, and they say it shouldn't impact the initial estimate, that it's gonna fall under that estimate, or within that. I'm gonna review that with the engineers. We'll probably go on site and see if we could trim that down. If they think it's necessary, maybe something we do look at. There's a couple areas that do dive off where, it's a little greater than from center line to berm.
That's not deflection.
Well, that's not deflection, but that's what the leveling course will do, is bring that right up to the correct
Right.
shape crown and berm site. The other thing they asked about is with these repairs, if we want to roll them in, I don't want it to impact our estimates. We shouldn't go higher than what we had there. So we will take care of that ourselves. As you guys have the resolution of convenience and
We
necessities
have
here
it
today.
tonight, but our
Right.
past experiences is that we were all ready last year, and they came rolling in September.
Right. But we get those signed tonight, it doesn't change what we're doing out there. So we go ahead and move forward with that. We do have the striping with an MOU attached to it. This is where the engineers did approach us this year to be involved in their striping program. They do about 80 miles a year, and they did have a couple townships piggyback with them last year, and I'd like to be included in this. I think you and I talked, this would become part of our regular maintenance schedule. If we choose to, it's not per se line item, but we can choose to non-perform if we think, I think it's $10,000. If we think that we don't wanna spend that much, we can choose to non-perform and they'll strike it. So that's not an issue.
Well, it's financially, it's well worth it,
Mhm.
because we haven't even been going out to get bids on, these would be, roads that are 5, 6 years old. We haven't even
Well,
gotten out
yeah.
for prices because the prices were exorbitant.
Right, and again, these are through roads only, it doesn't go in subdivisions.
Yeah.
And we're not looking at roads that are being paved within the next 2 to 3 years, it
Right.
doesn't make sense to.
It's impossible to get somebody mobilized for 8 miles of.
Exactly, exactly, so here you're gonna get,
I
we're
need,
gonna get the striping done for, 20% of what it'd be if you tried to, cause they don't even wanna come and do small amount we would be doing.
well, if they do, they charge you a lot more.
Well, they'll do it, but they'll really charge us.
Yeah, if
right?
you look at the numbers down there, I'm pretty sure it'll be just the sidelines, the berm lines, and the center line pool.
Mhm.
Paying for it, the mobilization may be absorbed, so.
I think it's something that
Yeah, absolutely.
we should join in on. And,
Sure.
I mean, that's, you're getting to an affordable range versus having it done outside.
It's like when we used to sweep the cinders.
Right.
That got crazy expensive at the end. They were just coming out to do ours.
Yep, and that's what I got, right?
You guys want to, let's take action.
Yeah, there's a memo of understanding from the
We do have that,
engineer's
right?
office. Saw it. Somewhere.
Let me get a copy
do the
mileage
mileage
here,
too.
this PJ, if you want, it's 2009.
Okay, let's make sure we got the right number,
Yeah.
because mine says 08. Which one we want, Fred?
Here, let me look at this now.
John's copy says 09, and mine says 08.
And mine says 09. Do 09 because we've got another one that's scheduled as 08.
Okay.
Here, this is definitely 09.
Yeah, we've got 6, 7, and 8 here, so that's gotta be 9.
This is 9. That's a 4 point.
Right.
So we're talking about we're gonna be doing 4.06 miles of road.
Alright, this resolution 2020-09 is a memo of understanding between Township Board of Trustees and the county engineer for the application of pavement markings to various township roads, as John just mentioned, and encompasses 4.06 miles. Clarifications, Taylor May, Bartholomew, Quinn, and Crackle. Engineer will be the lead agent. And we wish to participate in the funds for the reimbursement shall come from funds available to Auburn Township Road. Agree to fund a portion of the total cost of improvements performed in conjunction with the project. County engineer's estimate for Auburn Township's portion is $10,000. The final cost will be based upon bid unit prices and actual quantities installed. And the engineer is empowered and directed on behalf of Auburn Township Board of Trustees to enter into these contracts and agreements with the lowest and most qualified bidder to complete the construction of the improvements. Let's see, and be it further resolved, we're gonna transmit copies of this original document to the engineer. Okay, I will make a motion to adopt that.
I'll second.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
John,
Yes. I do have one more discussion now. Crackle borders. Let's see, this Crackle border. Is that the Aurora? No, that'd be Manaway. Are they in on this, or is that our,
They're in Portage County.
well, I know, but, it's their road, half of it.
We'll go and, per our agreement.
Anything over $1,000, we cover up to 1,000, as they do on the other end of Crackle.
Well, we'll keep them
So-
notified though.
Right, well,
Yeah.
The original. Two places. Maybe just have one spot over there. If you want.
No, it's two.
You got anything else, Emery?
That's all I got.
Okay.
Highway mileage, we do that.
Yeah.
John got it.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to go over that, the 2020 NOPEC grant. We're talking about doing the lighting at the fire station. And we asked John to get us the final figure for that project. The entire project is $26,926. We used $11,646 from last year's NOPEC grant, which is leaving a balance of $15,280. Which would then leave us about $7,000 remaining on a NOPEC grant that we could put toward the shelter. So you wanna go over some of the information you brought, John?
Yeah, just one of the things I wanted to make mention of is, I think it's a pretty important project, to be honest with you. Just to remind everybody that the FD is a 24/7 operation. We're always moving in that building, it seems like. Our electric bills average anywhere between $1,600 and $1,700 a month. LED lighting would represent approximately a 30% savings in the lighting costs. It provides better quality lighting. It's mercury-free, making them environmentally friendly, which eliminates any recycling fees or issues from disposing of current fluorescent bulbs. A lot of our buildings controlled by occupancy sensors. In other words, when you walk in the room, light comes on, time's on for a while, and then if you leave the room, it goes back off. Fluorescents aren't necessarily geared towards that, and it shortens their life. LEDs are not impacted by that. The LED lifespan, the lifespan of LED is approximately 50,000 to 80,000 hours. Fluorescents currently run about 30,000 hours approximately. And as I said, we got two quotes. One was for like 35,000, the other one was 926. I'd like to entertain that we continue improving the station to be more efficient in our electrical usage. Pretty much it for me.
All right. Any comments?
Well, we started this,
Project.
and I'm sure the fire department would be very grateful for us to just kick in and help them lower their light bill,
Yes. Okay.
so.
Based on that, I'll make a motion to go with the second half of the lighting project for the fire department for a total of $15,280 to come out of the 2020 NOPEC Energized Community Grant.
Second.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Is there any chance that, other than you, there'll be some appreciative firemen? Oh, I shouldn't have said that, should I?
I'm sure there will be.
All right, let's move on. PJ?
Really, everything else everything I wanna talk about is on the agenda, so I'll just pass it along.
Okay. Good, do you have anything special?
Nothing too special. I've got your regular reports in front of you, your fund summary report, your revenue summary report, and your appropriation summary report. Also your payment listing of warrants 5642 through 5661, totaling $39,606.41. And I did pass along to you gentlemen a cost of community services study that was provided to me by a resident. I told him I would pass it along to the trustees, and I have, so you have that for your information.
I actually had one of these done specifically for Auburn Township. It was, Planning Commission did it, or administered it, Kent State did it, and it was for information purposes countywide, and they chose Auburn Township, and I think that was 1996 or 1997. And the results were pretty much what you see here. Residential is most expensive to administer cost because you have schools and, I suppose fire and rescue was built into that. One thing that it didn't count in Auburn's, and I think that those numbers were skewed even heavier. I think business was like 10 cents rather than the 30 cents they're showing here. There's no cost of county services like the sheriff was ever accounted for in that study. We could dig that back up again if it still applies to anybody, if anybody's interested, but, like any
Well,
statistics,
the
you can
point
kind of make
being
them read the way they want.
residential's more expensive. parkland is the least.
That's all that I have.
Okay. I'd like to discuss the pavilion project a little bit.
Okay, let me get to something first then, John.
Okay,
As I mentioned at the last meeting, we had a couple of speed bumps in the grant.
oh,
The 30,000, I think it's $30,400 or some such thing. We successfully got out of the way because it was
Good job.
between our prosecutor's office and ODNR's legal division, and as I said, we successfully got out of the way, and the lawyers amazingly have canceled that out last Friday. So Fred, do we have anything from them? There was, heard the sign off from our prosecutor's office that,
No, Christie was in today, but I don't know what the result was. I mean, I just know that she was here and talked to Nancy.
okay, well, that will complete all the paperwork we're to do in order to obtain this grant. The next thing, the next step in that process would be, when we did the playground grant, there's a, we could choose to administer, and Fred, you're familiar with what that application looked like. There was all kinds of equal opportunity employment, and there was a lot of arcane paperwork to do. We hired Chagrin River Watershed Partners to administer that grant for us last time.
Right.
I think that was based on a percentage. This one, I don't, at least the initial conversation I had, it's more like a flat fee that I think will be slightly less of a percentage than what we paid last time.
what are
It's a
they
bigger
talking, how
grant.
much are they talking about?
Well, it was 10%.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
It is. Their initial conversation was less than that, but, and we aren't committed to it, but we certainly can't ask for it. They wouldn't shoot us a cost until we had the paperwork done.
Okay.
So once this is finished, that's, I just think we
Yeah,
should
once they
send
have,
it to
I
them.
think, a solid figure on it.
But we're done. I mean, once we get this paper from the prosecutor's office, which is a requirement, we can forward all this to Watershed Partners, and they'll get back to us in short order with the cost to administer the grant.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's all I had on that, so.
Well, we drew up some information here and had some pictures at the last meeting, if that's the direction. We do have some general costs I've gotten for the thing. Is there stuff that you guys wanna change? You know, basically, we're looking at a 30 by 40, same style as that one in South Russell. The
No, not the.
only difference is we would put a conduit line in for electricity. I don't believe they have that.
This was, you were looking at 2,400 square feet?
24, yeah.
Bigger than 30, but it's gotta be 60 by 40.
40 by 60.
40 by 60 is what we're looking at. And I contacted the same guy down in Loudonville who, they're in the business of doing that. There is a fair amount of lead time that's required, and that is that there's at least a 70-day period to kiln dry and air dry the wood, get it cut. The other thing is this is, of course, they're extremely busy times, so they're, you know, to get the drawings, engineer stamped drawings and everything, that, you know, they were looking like it's 6 to 8 weeks. And, yeah, he said he would be a little negotiable on that, so, but still, we have to start the process, so to speak. So the first part of that would be, is that what we want? We have, basically, the difference is we got gutters, 6-inch gutters on the long sides with some downspouts. And to do just shoot the water off, you know, maybe 4 feet into off towards the east to that swamp. And,
Yeah, this is more of a specialty thing. I know John, Fred, you saw one, Mike, I don't know if you did, but I priced one from a building supply company, you know, big box kind of thing, and this is aesthetically
oh, I think
miles
this is
ahead of
miles
that.
ahead.
I think this is more the direction this
Yeah.
needs to go.
So it's basically a 2-component project. And, you know, if we do wanna go with this, probably the first thing to do would be to get, I would suggest we use Dixon, get a construction manager to, you know, and then do it, same way we did the garage and the addition onto, Adam Hall. He can go out and get bids. And so the next step would, maybe at the next meeting, we'd have to bring him in and negotiate a fee with him if we decide. We've already interviewed several people to do that. We found he was the best. I think he did a good job for us on the jobs he's done.
Fred, we gotta come up with funds available. That's what we gotta do.
Do we have a final estimate on this? Or
I think we're looking at about 130, and then you would subtract the grant. I don't know, we're gonna guess that.
And the grant is, we're looking at 30?
Well, I don't know what the fee is, we'll have to say.
Minus the 10% fee.
If we have a fee, yeah. I think that's a little steep for administering.
And then we've got
And I
the
don't know.
NOPEC grant also.
And we also have the NOPEC grant, right.
But does that 130 even include the electricity anyhow?
Actually, that would.
It looks like it does.
We're gonna.
So we're looking at under 100 probably.
Yeah, approximately. John was gonna give us an idea of
Cost-wise,
cost for,
Yeah, we should, out of our general fund and our land acquisition and improvement fund, from cable fees and
yeah,
a couple other odds and ends that went in there, we should have that money.
I see footers in here, but I don't see concrete floor.
yeah, we were putting in footers, PJ, this is the slab would be. So that underneath the center line of the, out, in case we ever put any knee walls or anything, they would be underneath this, where the footer is.
But, you know, we.
Basically a 4-inch slab of concrete with a 4-inch stone base.
Okay, but this doesn't seem to include, what, 2,400 square feet of concrete at least, probably more than that.
Well, you gotta go out a couple feet bigger
So
than,
figure 26 maybe.
the outside's gonna probably be about 44, 40, 45 by 65, something like that. It's got the outside of the concrete's probably gonna be.
It provides 60 amp service from the building, the existing building,
Put a
a
sub
sub
panel.
panel. Circuit for lights controlled by photocell. I don't think that, just the way this reads, I don't think that includes the fixtures or the outlets.
Well, at least 4 outlets, probably 2 on a side.
That could be code too, Mike. Might be more than that. Code might be more than that.
I don't know if in an outside structure like this, you have to have outlets.
I don't need it.
Service, well, I didn't hear you, Mike.
But do you have, for basically something of this nature where you're just making a pavilion like that, does it have to have electrical service?
You have to have some lights.
I think the thing is, once you put them in, you've gotta, there's probably codes to how many,
We
every so many feet.
We were thinking that you wanna have at least 2 or 3 circuits so that people could put crock pots and things like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you have to have at least 2 on each side of the building. You know, optimum would be 1 on each beam.
Would you want me to bring in Dixon next meeting, or?
Yeah, we talked to him.
Yeah, there's gonna be, I don't think, the grade work's not here either, so 130 plus the concrete pad plus grade.
No, the 130 included.
Extra, yeah,
the
for this-
grading
Here.
work and-
This picture looks like that's exactly what they have here, is 2 on each side of electrical outlets.
I don't believe that one's electrified, but, we want that, you want that.
Hmm?
We want electric. All right, well, why don't I do that? I'll bring in, unless somebody objects to that, we'll bring in Dixon and then we'll talk to him.
Yeah, and we've gotta, get these, expenses outside the shell itself figured in too.
You could be looking up to $50,000 on this concrete.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, aren't you required to give bids on the construction manager depending on what percentage will he be collecting this time? The construction manager.
Well, that we don't know till we know the nature of the project and what we negotiate as a salary.
All right, is it your plan at all to interview other qualified individuals who could do the job as construction manager as well? It's been a number of years since you've held any interviews regarding that position.
Well, we've done 3 projects with him, and
I'm aware of that.
he's done an excellent job for us, so I think when you have a horse that comes in first each time.
Well, I think for the public, I think it's important to be able to witness transparency in action. I think that the public might appreciate knowing that there is a public process for employment of people in this situation.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go ahead and interview him, and next thing we have on the agenda is the community grant that historically we have divided up amongst the 4 scout troops. Do anybody
I
have
recommend
any
we continue
issue?
along those lines. And
It would be the Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, and 4-H.
We can split it evenly with all the
Yeah,
groups.
just
Yeah.
evenly amongst all of them.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we continue that practice.
Second.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
John,
Yes. Okay, energy grant, we did that. Ohio Township Cloud membership. I think we have a resolution for that.
2020-06.
2020-06.
I'll go ahead and read this into the
Okay.
record. This is a resolution to join the Cloud Commission of the Ohio Township Association. And whereas the Ohio Revised Code grants authority to a Board of Township Trustees to authorize its elected officers to join an association or nonprofit organization formed for the improvement of township government. And the coalition of large Ohio urban townships, hereinafter referred to as CLOUT, which is part of the Ohio Township Association, qualifies as an association or nonprofit organization formed for the improvement of township government within the meaning of section 505.241 of the Ohio Revised Code. And whereas Auburn Township is eligible to be a member of CLOUT based on its population in the unincorporated area of 6,500, and whereas the board desires to participate as members of CLOUT, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Township Trustees of Auburn Township, Geauga County, Ohio hereby authorizes Auburn Township to become a member of CLOUT as part of the Ohio Township Association, to pay the annual CLOUT membership dues, which, although not stated here, is $200 annually.
Gentlemen, before you take a vote on that, could you clarify on the agenda, that resolution is listed as 2020-04. So which one is it?
It's 2020-06.
Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt, I'll second.
Mike?
Yes. Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Okay, motion's passed.
Next, we have a part-time road department position that, been being filled on a temporary basis. You wanna speak to that, Emmerich?
Sure, yeah. We had Mr. Van Noy, who did acquire a CDL. He was our seasonal worker. He worked with us all the way up to the end of the year. He did prove himself. He fit right in with the group. Hard worker. I'd like to keep him. I'd like if you guys could shift him to permanent part-time and go from there and see his performance throughout the balance of the year.
Do you want, why don't we put like a time limit on it
Per week, you mean?
till we get to say,
I think our manual says 32 hours.
That's 32 hours. Is
no, but I'm saying put a time limit for months, number of
Well,
months.
let's go up,
Review it again.
Well, let's see the performance once again, you know, in the pieces of equipment that we have, in the trucks and that. Let's go to, next review, I would say. Let's go through a construction season and see where we stand at that point in
Okay.
time.
That sounds reasonable to me. He hasn't been operating any of the equipment because he hadn't had the CDL, although he says he does know how to operate it. We'll find that out for sure.
What was his last name?
Van Noy,
How do you spell it?
Van Noy, Vannoy.
Thank you.
And what kind of compensation we're gonna give him?
That would be up to the board.
Well, presently,
He was at 14 present.
14.
you want to do him at 15 since he has a CDL.
That's what we were holding off on, so yeah,
Yeah, certainly. I'll make a
Let's go
motion.
with 15.
15.
You got all that for
Yeah, why don't we do a motion to,
Hire him
Move.
first.
is it to hire or we just
To move him to.
Let's
move to?
Well, we already hired, it's already been hired.
It's already hired, move to
So move him to.
Move it
Permanent
to
part-time.
permanent part-time.
permanent part-time,
At 32 hours a week.
32 hours a week for 4 months, starting February or 2nd,
Third, today?
okay, third,
Yeah, at a rate of $15 an hour.
pay $15 an hour.
And he's already in our pool, he's in our drug pool. So that's already established, so.
Has he been tested?
Pre-employment, yes.
That's gonna get them through till plow season.
Okay, motion was made by PJ,
Mike, by Mike.
Mike,
seconded by PJ.
Yeah, I'll second.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
John,
yes. Okay, take care of that community grant. And divide it up. We have the annual highway system mileage certification. You have that, Fred?
We
Some
have counted
copy
it here for the umpteenth year in a row. It is 54.031 miles.
Yeah.
oh, Nancy gave that to me.
We could sign the copy, I guess. That's the original license, anyway. Okay.
Yeah, I think we just need to sign it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, we had, that, park signage quote.
Yeah, I think, it's good to have a name on a building that, since, we send people to and don't know what it is.
Know where it is?
Yeah.
Good idea.
So, I think self-explanatory. I think I'd go with the smaller sign, or not the small, I guess it's the same size.
Yeah,
I like the darker letters.
there's letters on the
Yeah.
backing.
I'd go with this one, just because I just like the darker letters.
Is that a motion?
Yes, I'll make a motion to go
I'll
with,
second.
I agree, yeah.
quote from, Easy Sign for $2,550. That's yours.
That's option B, right?
Yeah.
Okay, did I get a second?
Yeah, me.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
John?
Yes. Okay, we need to appoint a representative and an alternate to the Sugar River Watershed Partners Board for 2020. Quite a prestigious post.
I would certainly like to see.
I would say that generally we use the TST for that, which would be Mr. Troy.
Well, gladly take that honor.
Okay, if John made a motion, I'll second
That's a
that.
motion. We need an alternate. Would you like to be the alternate?
You know, we do,
In
I
case Mr.
do,
Troy
when they hold the meetings in Jogga County, I do go to
Yeah.
those, so.
So
most
you would
of
be a
them
perfect
are-
choice for that, and we'll
When-
make such a motion.
But the,
We gotta vote on the first one.
head man has to go all the time. We can, first we're gonna do the head man, that's Mike. I second him.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
John,
Yeah, now the alternate will be PJ.
I'll second it.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
John,
Yes. Okay, we have a liquor license hearing request for the Four Leaf LLC, doing business as Sun Valley.
Yeah, it's a transfer. Been a long time since we had one of those, but you'll recall, we always called the sheriff's department to see if there were any
Well,
issues
it
with
would
the
be
place.
difficult since they're not in business yet.
I know, but when it was their public location,
Yeah.
we've always
We've never had
done
a
some
problem there
diligence.
in 30
Well,
years.
and we called the sheriff today and confirmed that, so. I think isn't this to request a hearing?
No, we don't want, that's only if you.
Right, so I'll
want
make a
to.
motion that we do not request a hearing for
We
it.
still have to return that form though, Fred. It's different, I think, where you gotta sign the bottom.
okay.
Yeah, well, actually, no, I'm gonna withdraw that motion because they're supposed to be always made in the affirmative, so I'll make a motion that we forego the hearing on that transfer.
Second.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
John,
Yes. Okay, we have a couple of resolutions here to deal with the road projects for this year. And I'm not sure what number you're at for the first one, Fred. Improvements of various Auburn roads,
2020-08.
2020-08. Resolution of convenience and necessity for the improvement of various roads in Auburn Township.
I'll read the resolution. Let's get the body of it in. Whereas the Auburn Township Board of Trustees has determined that the public convenience and welfare require improvement of Snow Road, TR 145, from Stafford Road to Newberry Township line, Bartholomew Road, TR 195, from Auburn Road, CH 4 to Ravenna Road, SR 44, Wing Road, TR 198, from Washington Street, CH 606 to Stafford Road, Brookfield Drive, TR 740, Cinnabar Trail, TR 878, Chanticleer Court, TR 981, Chateau Trail, TR 982, Champlain Trail, TR 983, Alex Way, TR 1020, and Stell Lane, TR 1021, and to authorize Geauga County Engineer to prepare engineering plans in accordance with section 557301 of the Ohio Revised Code. Now therefore be resolved by unanimous vote of the board that the public convenience and welfare requires improvement by repairing an existing pavement and embankments, replacing culverts, improving drainage structures, asphalt resurfacing, application of chip seal, stabilizing the shoulders, and related improvements as necessary. Be it further resolved that Geauga County Engineer is hereby directed to make such surveys, plans, profiles, cross-sections, estimates, and specifications as are required for the improvement, and to transmit copies of the same to this board. Be it further resolved that the costs and expenses of said improvement shall be apportioned as follows: the right-of-way cost, if any, and the construction cost for the project shall be paid from local funding sources and state grants and/or loan funds should they be available for this project. The engineering will be provided by the Geauga County Engineer at no cost to the township. Be it further resolved that the fiscal officer of the board is hereby instructed to transmit a certified copy of this resolution to the Geauga County Engineer. Make a motion to accept resolution 2020-08.
Second.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Mike, did Brookfield adjourn there? It did, okay, the text card.
You were yawning when I said Brookfield. Don't nod off during the meeting.
Okay, we had a request for donation from the Kinston football. And, they apparently are having some kind of auction. And they have an annual dinner where they raise money. It's to support, it's aside from the school, if I understand this correct. And we had, Nancy Parker apparently is working on putting this thing with some other people together.
It was part of its Chinese auction, thereby
Yeah.
the request.
So Nancy suggested, hey, we in the past, we've donated free rental to town hall.
Yeah,
Nancy
I think
was
that's
thought that
fine.
would be excellent. It's, we did it at the fire department.
We have done that before.
Auctions 3 or 4 times, was popular. And so basically, it'd be a $50 rental. Do we have any objections, I guess?
No, I wouldn't, so we've done that before with community groups, so.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to, give the Kent football group the donation of 1 day at the, town hall for part of their Chinese auction.
Second.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
John.
Yeah. You know, I was just thinking maybe it'd be better if we just donated like a case of those face masks.
There you go. That'd be handy.
In case they don't have that virus under control by then. Okay, public comment, yes.
Yes, Diane Jones, I have a question about, actually several warrants, but for tonight, I have a question about one warrant, and I have, a follow-up on a warrant for January 6th. So the easier one, is the warrant from tonight, 5561, regarding a $300 payment to the Teamsters Local Union 507. I'm not sure I've seen such payment before, and I would appreciate clarification, and then I will go into my second request.
That's for a return of a damaged deposit for the rental of Adam Hall.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, good. The second inquiry regards a warrant from January 6th. It was, in fact, I have the number here. All right, it was a tax payment. It was warrant 5607. That was paid to IRS in the amount of $1,993.65, which included an initial payment of $1,959.17, plus approximately $34 in penalties. And when I asked for the warrant, you were kind enough to give me the information, but you indicated that you lodged an inquiry with IRS, and
Yes.
I'd be grateful for a follow-up.
Yeah, that hasn't been resolved yet. That was, if I recall correctly, and I don't have my file in front of me, you probably have
I do.
better information in front of you. That was something that was paid timely, but they were saying that it wasn't.
Well, it looks like they're showing that, the township owed $11,677 and change, and only received $9,718. And so that's where their discrepancy came from. And I'm just curious, because I looked at your paperwork, and quite frankly, I did not see an error, and I'm wondering, where the difference of opinion lies.
Again, I don't have my file in front of me, so I can't give you a response right now.
Okay, would there be a good time when you can address this situation?
Yeah, absolutely. I can address it tomorrow when I can take a look at my file and see what's going on there. But there was a discrepancy, and I believe I pointed it out to you, and it is incorrect on their part.
Well, that's what you're alleging right now, and that's what has to be ironed out,
Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
Anybody else?
Thanks for comments.
Okay, we're.
Sorry, let me just ask one question. I didn't hear the answer. I'm circling back to the bids, for your, everything is escaping me right
I
now.
might be deaf, but I can't hear you.
Okay. Are you going to put out the, I'll call it general contractor bid to other people other than Dixon, I believe?
We're
I
just-
didn't hear the answer to
We're looking for
that.
construction manager.
Construction manager, are you gonna put those bids out? I'm sorry, I
I
didn't hear
don't
your
think
answer
so.
for, you don't think so? Any particular reason?
We've
Let me
used
just
them-
say
we've used
why.
them. We've interviewed, I think so far 5 parties.
Recently,
Pardon? Oh, in
recently,
the last 3 years, yeah.
in the last 3 years?
And
Oftentimes when we
Dixon has
use,
done an excellent job for us on 3 projects, a $2.5 million project, $2 million project, and about $150,000 project. He's done an excellent job
and I can
for us.
completely respect that, but oftentimes as you use the same contractor, they might charge a little more because they know they can.
Well, we have to negotiate a price.
But you don't know how much you should
No,
negotiate for.
but we will negotiate a price. You don't select the construction manager on the basis of price. You select them and then you negotiate a price. That's how it
Okay.
works.
Okay, thank you.
Gentlemen, I have another comment, and I guess it is based on the fact that I've attended these meetings for many years. And I would like to ask you, when you, and if, and my experience is that you have never done so, have you ever employed anyone that you first decide you're going to hire, either a construction group or a construction manager? Has there ever been an opportunity for anybody else to probably qualify for this position, especially since these bid opportunities do not seem to be held during public meeting, except for the one occasion that I recall, and that was more than 3 years ago. That was probably closer to 5 or 6,
Well,
before the fire department.
we interviewed people for all 3 of those projects I just mentioned.
Okay, but as I say, that was about 5 years ago. That's a long time ago.
No, that last project was just a couple of years ago.
Oh, the service garage?
Pardon?
The service garage?
No, the addition to Adam Hall.
The addition to Adam Hall. Yeah,
Okay.
I think transparency is vitally
You
important
mentioned
in
that
this
several
office.
times, yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to have an executive session here to interview for a position, and this is per, oh boy, RC 121.22G. So I make a motion, we go into executive session.
A second.
Mike?
Yes.
DJ?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Will there be any business conducted after the executive
We
session?
haven't done any in the last 10 years, so I
Will
will
not
not start.
be.
Going to the meeting for homework? All right.